Hello everyone and welcome to our Starcraft 2 live cast. This one's going to... Oh, sorry, it's not a live cast actually. Just so used to saying those words. This is actually going to be from the Streamer's Choice Tournament, and this is going to be my series versus Destiny. So, kind of mid-ranked pro-level player, which kind of is like 500 levels above me. We'll see how it turns out. So doing my typical TvZ opener on Daybreak, deploying on Depot there. Setting my SCV cross map to get the engineering bay block. So I think what I'll do for this replay is I'm going to show it from my view, and then we'll switch it back and we'll show what Destiny did, and we'll see like what sort of things he does that a typical Zerg player doesn't. In terms of just being at a much higher level than me. Unfortunately lost that SCV there. Didn't get a ton of hit points on this bay either. Yeah, but just the usual. I'm here a little bit early, so I mine some minerals before I throw down my man center. Just saves a little bit of mining time afterwards, and canceling the eBay earlier than normal. So I can get the barracks and engineering bay and double gas a little bit sooner. But that's actually bags. I want that blocking Eng bay to be up as long as possible. So this is, I played this game after not playing for an entire month and having a brand new keyboard, but before this game I played maybe 10-12 ladder matches to try to get back warmed up, and I felt decent. Obviously I wasn't tip-top shape, I was still having trouble with the new keyboard, but it wasn't like when I first started the session where everything, I just couldn't click buttons properly and I totally forgot everything. You know, I was comfortable again with my builds, and I was more or less comfortable with my keyboard.
Upgrade
so
complete.
Not 100%, but I still felt pretty good coming into this game. Doing the usual, take my third and fourth gas as soon as I can afford it. I'm playing pretty blind. There's my third marine, so we're gonna go for the little feint push here. Same time I should be throwing down my factory and my next depot. I like to put my next depot here now, just complete this wall off, or this wrap. I find it helps a bit. Feint does encounter a ling, feint forward a little bit, and then just head back home and hope we built stuff that wasn't drones. So there's that depot, a little bit late. Am I going to supply cap? Probably a 38. CMR up against 52.
Additional supply depots required.
Only 39 harvesters though. So I'm definitely behind, but not in terrible shape. I've been in worse shape before. People are coming in here. I pick it off. And with my marines back here, yeah, he won't get deep enough to see my attack. It's just barely just starting actually. So. It does seem like I'm late on my starport tech, that's for sure. Throwing out the turret ring.
Add-on complete.
Turret ring is complete. If he switches to mutas, I'm hoping my first Viking will spot the mutas and give me time to throw up a lot more turrets. But for now, this is enough to keep the, the overseers and overlords out, and to give me an initial defense versus any sort of mutalisks. So some scatterlings came to the front. Didn't see a whole lot in terms of units, just one bunker and some beans. So he's probably thinking tech. Ooh, changeling, get it! Oh, I think he got close enough to see all these starports, at least 3 of them. Maybe not this one. So he should have an idea what's going on now, or at least know that it's a sky-based turn.
Complete.
Weird having SCV out in the middle of nowhere. Okie. Don't know how that happened. Just kind of looking for the overlords here with my Viking. Meantime, starting the Raven Force, getting my next 2 command centers. And yeah, this Viking found nothing. Oh, there's no overseer, but surrounded some queens. I'm not microing this, so good. Alright, so loading up these command centers to take my third. Obviously this is a little dicey because I gotta get these PFs up before he completely floods me, and look at this. This is a new way to lose a game. And I go send out the ravens to clear the creep tumors and get caught in fungals. And then my new ravens come to join in, so they get caught in fungals too. And there we have it. So when I say no way to lose a game, I've never had the creep spread get here before my command snares did. And typically, you know, if I can't secure the third, I just quit. And this was so one-sided, he didn't even lose anything in attempting to block the third. So let's kind of rewind it. We'll go back to, say, the 3-minute mark, and we'll switch it to...
Base is under attack.
We'll do it to everyone view, but we'll focus on Destiny. So there he is, just clearing out the inch bay right around the time he hit 300 minerals. So he did go pool first, but he does not have any gas, so... just kind of scouting around, looking to see make sure there's no bunkers being set up around here. He doesn't know my barracks timing. And sending lings out. And I like this ling here, because if I am going to sneak up on this hatchery, it's going to be coming around this way, right? So it just kind of blocks that path. And then the second one on the tower. So if there's any interest in this game, which is very, very one-sided, it's probably just looking at the little things that Destiny does right, that a lot of certain players don't that I face. So you can see he's still on no gas, right? So he's just spending all his money on queens and drones, and then just those 2 lings, I think he has, right? Yeah, just 2 lings. So up to 3 queens now, 4 queens. Poked in here a few times, just look at his vision. Much. So, sorry, I just went back up a touch here. Check out what he does with the watchtowers. We're just gonna go from his view. Alright, so watching the minimap, you can see my little feint push coming out. He sees it. He pulls the ling off the tower. And my feint push is continuing along this way if you follow my cursor on the minimap towards the second place. Skins are coming over there. He looks over, sees it's just 2 SCVs. And then look, he's putting that other ling back on the first tower. So the whole time he saw that this feint was very small, and he kept control of the towers the entire time. So if you actually look at the production chat during that time, well, I'm not going to bring it up. Wind again. But he didn't actually make a single spine or extra queen or zergling. He made nothing. So this feint, which is supposed to force things that aren't drones, forced nothing. Not a single response, not even 2 things. That was super impressive. And I checked out his stream VOD afterwards. It's not like he knew like my build or anything like that. This is just from like really good scouting. So you can see harvester count now is 45 over 32, and really starting to get that crate spread going now. Going down a lot of tumors on the low grounds. It's actually up to 6 queens, so that's really good for crate spread, good for defense versus sort of Hellion-based play. I guess he was kind of in the dark of what I was up to. He didn't see many Marines, so he was probably thinking mech, and that's why I snapped a little wall off like this. I try to capture the Hellions in this choke, or block the Hellions from this choke. That's the sort of idea. I always find it funny when Zerg like puts down a creep tumor here. Oh, this is a different version of Daybreak. You notice the middle base is kind of fucked up. There's only 5 mineral patches, and there's something called a rich Vespene geyser. So it's 1 Vespene geyser, but brings in 1.5 times the gas. Like it gives 4 gas per or 6 gas per trip rather than 2. Kind of a weird center base. Couple lings coming in, getting a look I want to have again. Still seeing nothing. Speed it up a touch. So now taking his third, as he's going to have the drones to saturate it. Bring the production tab. Starting infestation pit. Carapace 2. And attack 2. So it's turning us to 2 upgrades, 11 minutes, should be done a really good time actually, quite early. Look at his overlord spread. He's got overlords all over the place, and for some reason, even though I usually send my Viking like this, to like that way, then come back here and then send it along this way, along the bottom of the map, where I would have run into like 7 overlords, instead I decided to send it through the middle. And it ran into nothing. I was like looking on, I guess as far as looking for, like probably like this spot here, like all those stupid spots this map has. I don't know exactly where they are, but he didn't use any of them. If I did the typical pathing, I would run into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 overlords, and all off creep, right? So the queens wouldn't have been part of it. I guess it would depend if he had overlord speed or not, but I don't think Zergs typically upgrade that anymore since that's speed buff to basic overlords. And of course my expansion, I guess I was late too. Like I said, I was quite out of practice at the time I did this build, but I was expanding at 13. You know what, I don't think that's very late. I mean, I'm usually ready to push out with, I usually get through my gas bank around 14 minutes. You can see I'm almost through the gas bank. 6 ravens. 5 queued up. So yeah, maybe like 20 seconds late or so on this expansion, but yeah, it was mostly just the creep spread being so fast from the Zerg. As soon as you got these tumors in the low ground, and multiple tumors spreads creep faster, so as soon as these tumors are available, they can spread to like max distance. Another wave, and another wave, and another wave. Boom, he's blocking my third. He's probably playing defensive, knowing that I never took my third over here. I figured some sort of all-in might have been coming. It's looking, you can kind of see in the minimap, almost looks like these shock waves of tumors just getting spread. Alright, so that was game 1. One final thing I want to talk about here is the second overlord. I kind of checked this after game 1. So watch the movement of this overlord. It doesn't stop at the main base here. It's actually going to continue along towards the bottom corner and then over here. So let's jump into the next replay. So second game, I was actually going to go for the oh geez, how am I going to find this replay now? November, October 18th maybe. 17th, 18th. Used 13th. There we go. So I decided to go Cloud Kingdom for the next match just because I was used to fortress rushing on this map. But before this game started, I checked that replay from the last game just to see where Destiny's second Overlord went on Daybreak. And I saw that it continued, like if you did the same pathing, like not stopping it here, but actually continuing along towards the top, he would pass by here, which is where I like to build my proxy command center. So, I saw that and I'm like, well, maybe that was just particular to Daybreak because there's this blind spot over here that you can hide your Overlord in, so maybe he won't do it on this map. I don't know what I was thinking, but I decided to see, you know what, screw it, let's put it in the same spot and hope for the best. So this screwed me up actually. I didn't put a whole lot of hit points into it. Normally I just put into the orange. And I've actually changed this in recent times, and I try to put more hit points on it. Sent out to TV earlier. But the whole point of this eBay block is that I have to, he can't put this hatchery down until I have like 45 seconds complete on my command center. And you can see that's not going to be the case here. I put so few hit points on it, and he pulled 5 drones. All of a sudden I decide I gotta make this as close as I can, so I just take the risk, throw it here, even though it's in range of the watchtower, because I know I need to float over quickly. And then the Overlord spots me anyways. So I have to abandon the whole thing. First thing you do when you abandon that is throw down a depot, because the second command center, which is supposed to be an excess supply, won't be coming, so you'll need the depot. So I do the command center at home, and now I feel ridiculously behind, and plus, you know, I'm going up against a pro player, and I'm down 1-0, so I decide, you know what, let's just have some fun, and just go for the quadruple nuke rush. So it kind of works the same way. Still do the feint push, still do the. This looks like. Oh, you see a lot of canceling going on? It's because I kept changing my mind what I should do, and then I kind of forgot how to do the nuke rush. So I was like, "Do I build this yet?" Like, no, I don't build that. I need to Ghost Academy first. Let me cancel that. Let me cancel this. And I ended up canceling like 200 resources worth of stuff. Now, Destiny actually went lair before Zergling speed, so his first 100 minerals he spent, or first 100 gas he spent on lair, and then straight into Spire. So it's going to be really fast Muta play. And immediately taking 2 more gas geysers as third, so he's going to have enough gas to support it. So it's going to be super fast Mutas, and then I went super light on the turrets because of this. I need more money for infrastructure to get the ghosts up fast. This is the 3 turrets there and the 1 here. And he's actually going to cut right through those, like, no problem. Now I'm in a ton of trouble. I'm trying to throw up emergency turrets in random places, and obviously it's not working out. I'm at the tech now where I can start making the ghost cannons. I can't afford any Vikings just because my economy got so nerfed. I filtered my ghosts, I pushed them through this bunker and out the other side, and they could have been spotted, and I think he was looking there, but he didn't really react at all to it. Bring up the production tab. There's not like a whole lot going on in this tab in terms of like worried about cloak ghosts. Ghosts are actually very good at engaging Mutalisks, but of course in this build it's all about getting devastating damage to your first nuke. And the last thing you want to show with Zerg is cloak ghosts before you're nuking. So he can actually come in with Zerglings right now and just win the game. And this was the worst part of this build, or worst part of this game. Even though I had no chance of winning this game, look at this, the guns are drawn, I hadn't hit hold fire. Look what these stupid ghosts do. They come here, they stop, and they shoot. And it was only those one shot in just for a split second. Destiny knows it. He's morphing in 4 overseers right now. 4th nuke's not ready. Surrounding me with drones, bringing everything over. There's the detection arriving. 1 ghost down, 2 ghosts down. And that's that. So, at least I killed a few drones. Even though he's on 4 base. If you're not familiar with my quad nuke build, the whole key of the quad nuke build is you come in, quad nuke the layer, which puts the layer down to 1 hit point, so then you can just tap it. He can't make any overseers afterwards. You're supposed to be building Vikings during that time. Use the Vikings to kill the overseers he morphed in while the nuke. Like there's that moment where you call down the nuke, where he's like, "Here's the nuclear launch detected." So during that time, before the nukes land, he can morph in overseers. He usually only morphs in 1. Destiny did 4, so we've been in trouble. But assuming he only morphs in 1, the Vikings clean up the 1 overseer. Hopefully he has his Evo chamber somewhere around the layer. I don't think Destiny even had an Evo chamber. No, because he's going for that like hardcore Muta play. Losing my train of thought here. Yeah, but if the Evo chamber's here, you can blow that up then at the same time, which isn't hard with splash damage from 4 nukes. Then you can't make any spore colors either, and then all of a sudden you can do 4 nukes a minute. And you can't actually detect anything. Losing your entire second base though, and having your main base breached doesn't help much. Yep, so that was my anticlimactic series versus Destiny. Raven build never got going. PF Rush got spotted, which put me miles behind, and then I tried a crazy build like Quad Nuke Rush, which is terrible to begin with, but definitely when you start miles behind. So with that, we'll call it the end of this. I also got to play Empire's Beastie Cutie, another professional player in this series, and I think those replays will be much more informative. I really want to look at the build to use, as he did 2 gas first builds. So there's something you can emulate. So we'll take a good look at the builds, because I'm sure he doesn't quite crisp. They're kind of like really offensive Terran builds, like super fast Banshee and proxy Marauder Rush. Then the other thing I want to look at is how do I, using my build, how do I respond to this gas first sort of opening? Which is something I need to know. Like, I don't face these gas first builds very often, but I want to know what's the best way to respond to it, and this will be good replays to look into that. So that's what's queued up next. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for putting up with my terrible performance versus Destiny. I really wish I studied some of his games beforehand. Unfortunately, this is like kind of just after my move to Chicago, where I wasn't playing any Starcraft. But it would have been nice to, to at least know like his typical, like, where does his first, second, and third Overlord go? How does he respond to Injube blocks, like that sort of thing. Probably wouldn't have been hard to figure out. Anyways, with that, thank you everyone, and check the description for